Oh, it's
Hope you got
okay.
enough memory.
Oh, I do.
Good.
Okay.
Nice to kind of come in. Ann and I have been doing this for like, holy cow. Like,
I don't know,
7, yeah, I was gonna say 6 or 7 years. So I kind of came out of the crowd. Pop's Kettle Corn as a whole. How many of you guys have had it before? Heard of it? Maybe? Okay, at least heard of it. Okay. So Pop's Kettle Corn, my dad started the whole thing in 2009, and we've basically gone from all of these different events and stuff of that sort to actually having more so of a popcorn company, indoors, cooking year round, getting all of our kind of essentially product out to people. So 2009 he started, 2016 I came in, 2016 kind of just started ramping everything all up. So we've grown from basically a little 1,800 square foot spot. Now we actually bought and finished a facility last February. So we've been in it for just over a year now, but it's at 5,600 square feet. We've got our own office there and stuff of that sort. So it's a really, really nice kind of space as a whole that we can produce a lot of popcorn out of. We've been able to put everything under one roof when it comes down to popcorn and all that. Yes, we have great margins, one, because it's a great product, it's easy for us to do, but now we've got even better margins, mostly because of the ability for us to be efficient. Like, that was our biggest thing. Cut the fat, get rid of anything that we didn't have. So 5,600 square feet, we can bring in a lot more product. We can bring in a lot more of not just the product, but also the ability to bring it in. When you bring in more product, you're bringing it at a lower cost, and it kind of keeps cutting down. I don't know where it comes down to the business mentality of having it all, but like back in 2016, I priced our popcorn for 10 years. And I didn't really recognize that until I did it and until it continues to go through. And what that means was, like, back then, I was making a lot of money off of the gross margin, mostly because product was cheaper back then. Assuming that in 10 years it's gonna continue to go up. Right now, we haven't raised our prices. We just went through our first price increase this past January, and most of it just becomes just the product of farmers, everything like that, that's kind of like starting to go up. Because really we have 3 main ingredients when it comes to our popcorn. We've got an oil, seed, sugar. Like, that's kettle corn. If you ever have kettle corn or anything like that, it's not sweet and salty, nice and crunchy. It's not kettle corn. So that's kind of the big one. When it comes to all the different popcorns that we offer, kettle corn is one of them. Then we've got cheese corns. And then we usually have a gourmet, but we've started to die down that line, mostly because it's only been about 3% of our gross sales. So we don't really concentrate on that anymore. We concentrate on the cheddars and the kettle corns. I'd say we're probably about 60-40. 60 to the kettle corns, 40 to our cheddar corns. Cheddars are more expensive, those kind of things, but what we try and do with all that is really just try and make sure that it's packaged correctly. And you'll see our packaging, and I'll kind of show you a little bit about why we do that. One of the things that you get with Pops is quality. Quality and fills. If you guys ever go back and you go grab like some kettle chips or something like that, you pop open the bag, how much of the bag is actually full? It's like half full, right? There's all this other stuff. All of that is packaged by big machines. They pump in nitrogen into it to make sure that the chips stay for as long as they can. You'll see it's a metallized bag. There's a lot of things that just go into a high production, high volume kind of process. We are not high production, high volume. I would say that on average, we're doing a little over $1 million to $1.2 million per year is about how much popcorn we sell. That's pretty good, but when it comes down to trying to get into larger stores, if you've ever seen our product, where have you seen it? Would be a good question. Those of you that have had it, where'd you get it?
Fairs.
Store, Muskego, fairs. That's where we get our cup of tea, because we, by having the ability for you guys to come directly to us, we don't lose any points when it comes down to actually going into a Sendix or Quick Trip or anything else like that. Distribution costs a lot, usually about 20 points of what we kind of go for. We're self-distribution, so we can't outswing our coverage when it comes to that. I have a van, put it in a van, you put pallets into it, you take it all the way out. I think all the way out on this side, we'd have to go to, like, the easiest closest space here is gonna be Delafield, Albrecht Century. Great partners, really love them. They've been with them for like the past 4 or 5 years, so They do a really good job with that. We don't want to be in every store. It's not our purpose, because once also the pandemic hit in 2020, our goal is to drive people to our website. Website is now, instead of just having your geographical location here in Wisconsin, you've just now hit nationwide. So the question is, how do we distinguish ourselves though from every other popcorn shop, not only just in Wisconsin, but nationwide? And that's where we really get into our flavors. So my dad originally started with the kettle corn. That was his OG. That's the first and foremost. Then I created what we call a caramel kettle corn. And then my mom did the cheddar corn, and that's our Muskego mix. Funny part about that is nationwide, nobody knows where Muskego is. I don't even know if you guys know where Muskego is if you haven't been there, kind of thing. When you try and explain it, if you have to explain it, it becomes like, I don't know, lost cause kind of thing. So we have to start thinking of different ways to reinvent the brand or reinvent the name. So we come up with things like the signature blend and those kind of things that we're gonna start going to. We also go, there's the Muskego mix there. Scroll up one, all the way to the far left, the Dairyland mix.
Where do you want me to go?
Up, go, scroll all the way to the top.
Oh.
And then that bag that's on the bottom left. Left.
Oh,
Dairyland.
Dairyland.
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry.
So if you click on the Dairyland mix, Dairyland mix is one of those popcorns that a lot of people always ask for. It's the caramel and the cheddar. It's the Garrett mix. It's the Chicago blend. It's all the other stuff. Ours is a little different because we don't do the gourmet caramel. We just do our kettle caramel and our cheddar. But what we do is we make some badass bags. When I say that, I literally mean like they're the best bags out there. We do metallized, they get filled all the way up, but we have this really cool opportunity to like even just put like that holographic kind of thing on the side. Like this right here is your bag that you would go anywhere in Wisconsin. Think Lake Geneva, think all the way up in Door County. You walk into a little cute shop and you see a bag of popcorn sitting there like that, sold, easy. So packaging is where we're kind of getting our niche into. We already know we have phenomenal popcorn. I know it sounds really arrogant, but we just do. It's the best because we put a lot of time and effort into it, and that's something that we stand by. Our quality beats anybody else's. I will rival it all the way through. There are different types out there, but I do believe our gourmet popcorn line is just simply the best. That's how we perceive it. That's how we actually position ourselves. And by positioning ourselves that way, we can sell a bag for $10. That's not a lot of popcorn for 10 bucks. Would you agree? Like there's a lot of other things I'd rather buy for $10 than a bag of popcorn. So the question is why? And that's what we've been creating over the past 10 years. When I got into it in 2016, is because it simply is the best. It's different than everybody else's popcorn. We're not dealing with your competitors that are like Apollo popcorn, Valley popcorn, Knights popcorn, Badger popcorn. Those are your four bigger competitors. Rural Route 1 as well. I think they're out in Madison. These are all 5 Wisconsin popcorn companies who do, in my opinion, your regular popcorn. You're gonna go buy a bag for $5 and it's gonna be 10 times the size of that. That's fine. They've got their stuff. They have a huge factory. The machine itself is probably about the size of this wall that goes from conveyor belt up all the way through, seasoned, packaged, and it comes out here in a nice little bag, ready to go. What do you notice always about popcorn bags? It's different than ours. What do you guys think? Popcorn, go on the shelf. Yes?
They're usually like those clear, like cellophane.
Perfect. It's clear cellophane bags. We used to have a popcorn bag that actually had a clear thing in the front. When it goes clear in the popcorn style of packaging, we use metallized barriers simply because if air gets in, air kills corn. Period. The end. Like that's it. Anything air just makes everything stale. The cellophane bags, those plastic bags, they actually have a lot of air going in and out. So their product won't last as long on the shelf. That product right there, although it was just packaged Friday, that is good for 6 months. You can have it 6 months down the line and you're more than good. So does it last 6 months on the shelf? No, it really doesn't. But we do that to make sure that when you pop that, our customers are having the freshest popcorn that they can get right off the bat. So that's one of our big selling points, I would say, is like, we put a lot into the packaging simply to make it, one, stand out from every other thing that you're gonna have, and two, it does a lot for the freshness of it. We wanna make sure that's there. I could go on for like a million, this is too much, like I've been living this for like 10 years. That's how we kind of roll for it, and we position ourselves into doing a couple other things. So I always come up with recipes before we need the recipes, if that makes sense. So one of our main recipes that we came up with, this is actually a controversy right now within my mind, and I just got an email from the potential partner. My email back is basically gonna tell him to go F off. I don't think that we're gonna work well with him because I don't like the way that he's positioning himself, and I know, again, what we have as compared to what he would bring, and I don't think that it's gonna basically go together. When it comes to business, I don't have any partners. I asked my parents originally if they wanted to come in, and I said, you can either have cash and I'm gonna buy you guys out right away, or you guys can have a percentage of the business and you guys can make money kind of forever. My dad's a cash in hand kind of guy. He says, I want cash in hand, and it sounds great. Now they're just kicking themselves because they would have been making way more money if they would have just done the percentage wise. But once the deal is done, whether it's family or not. If you get into a business, don't mess with that. The gentleman approached us on January. We do a protein popcorn. So protein popcorn is really good. This is peanut butter and jelly, or this is peanut butter protein popcorn. We've been doing this since about 2018. It was a really awesome popcorn. It's one of my favorites. It's also the base for my absolute favorite, which is puppy chow. If you guys, I crush a bag, don't open it around me, it's gone. I think I'm gonna finish it right off the bat. But our puppy chow and stuff. So this gentleman approached me and he's like, hey, I really wanna make a protein popcorn. I said, well, that's easy. We could probably be to market within about 4 weeks, as long as we got everything. He goes, no, like, I want a protein popcorn. I go, yeah, we already do it. It's fine, I know how to do it. The question is, how do you want it done? So after about 2 months of collaboration, I would say more so like, we worked with this gentleman down in Missouri who does fitness coaching for like your elites. If you've ever seen fitness models, they're like the ones that are, I don't know, they have the poses and they're very, very dark skin because they go, whatever it is. That's what he coaches. So long and the short is, that's the person that we catered this new one to. So right now we're in a feud. It's be funny to introduce, kind of go for it. We're in not a feud of it. We produced the popcorn, we got it down to specific macros. In that bag, I can actually deliver 60 grams of protein in one bag. That's a lot of protein. If you guys work out or do anything like that, generally speaking, for a female, you want about 20 grams of protein. For a male, you're looking at about 30 grams of protein right after your workout. That would help you for 3 or 2 if you're a guy. That's unheard of. You can start looking at all the other different popcorns out there and all that other kind of stuff. We catered this down, not only to hit the macros of 60 grams, but I also kept it within 30 grams of carbs, 20 grams of, less than 20 grams, I think it's 17 grams of fat, and everything is like 30, 20, 30, like unheard of. You cannot find this anywhere else. We got it all the way done, sent it down there. We're gonna send it out for a certificate. The gentleman that came to me with the idea wants royalties. And I said, okay, we can do a royalty thing. Here's what I'm willing to do based off of my margin, what I know we can do. Here's my offer. And he keeps coming back and telling me no, it doesn't come back with like an actual different proposal. And the different proposal, that's where it's like, you can't put a square peg through a round hole. Last night was kind of his last one because he came up with the term pump corn, which I really like. So it's Pop's pump corn. I was like, this is really good, we can do that. But what he wants to do is control the actual brand name. He doesn't have anything to go to market, he just has a name, and we have our Pops that we've been working on since 2009. We're very well recognized around the Midwest. I would say around Milwaukee as a whole. We've been at AmFam Park. People know our name as synonymous with quality. And that's what he doesn't understand that we bring to it, as well as the entire execution of a business. To put that into perspective, if he wanted to do this all on his own, he'd probably have to shell out $150,000-ish just to go get a production site, do all the stuff, get all the research done and do that there. I offered him a $10,000 buy-in. And it was a repeat, like, once we hit a certain amount, he would get it back. Long and short, again, don't think that he sees the value, and I don't think that we're gonna go towards it. So my options right now are actually gonna be going to market on our own. So we're gonna come up with our own name and just go to straight market with it, because we've already done the work for it. Again though, I always equate it to this popcorn. If he tried it with the Ferris popcorn is another one in Wisconsin. They're up in Sheboygan. He tried to do it with Ferris. Have you guys ever had like the amount of, let's say you had a flavored chip or anything like that, and on the bottom is like all the flavoring because it kind of like fell off. That was this version of it. Our version is like everything's on there. If you open up that bag, you'll never find anything on the bottom other than a couple of really tasty crumbs because I like the small ones. But that's kind of where we go for it. So we have this really great product. We just don't know necessarily how to partner with certain people. But what we're starting to realize though is, and this is going out, talking to people, we've done this very well. We do it with Total Wine and More. We do a lot of distribution. We can do it at a gross scale. We did 3,000 cases of this for Northwestern Mutual. We have the capabilities of keeping up with a lot, but with that also being said, we get to choose who gets to do it. And the reason why we do that is because our name means a lot to us and our quality. I need people that are hustlers that'll go out and do this. We've been talking with Quick Trip about it. Quick Trip is somebody who is a great hustler. These guys are fantastic. They want to take our popcorn on and actually develop the Dairyland bag. We're going to develop a Quick Trip bag and kind of talk with them again. But they really like our product because we're Wisconsin based, we're family owned, and if we went to Quick Trip, we wouldn't go anywhere else. That would pretty much be it. Whoever's got us right now will keep us, and if you go to Quick Trip, that's ballgame kind of thing. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on. And when selling our product to another distributor or anybody that you guys might be tagging, know that we have great communication. You're talking to Alex, who's my COO. She's fantastic. And we've got the ability for us to just make sure that they get the product at the highest quality, which means that their customers get the product at the highest quality. And that's our kind of homage. We have to like have that within our website. So these are our medium bags. We've got a couple other different flavors, and I brought these flavors more so just to show, but if you guys do ask questions, you guys can come up and choose whichever bag that you like, including the Dairyland bag, which is an awesome bag. So, based off of what I just said, questions. Because how long do I have? I don't even know.
Oh, however long, at least a half an hour.
Okay, perfect. Yes?
I know that you have like 60 grams of protein in the protein popcorn. How are you able to put that much protein in the popcorn?
I am really good at what I do. And it's not a joke in the sense of like, those are the things that if I'm not saying that you would go and tell anybody or go off the whole thing. But what we do is I find out how to do something the most efficient way. You ever want to figure out how to do something the most efficient way, whether it be a policy, a procedure, anything like that, go ask a business owner. The reason why is they have no time to mess around. They have so much stuff to do, and if they got to get it done, they're going to find out how to do it the most efficient way. When it comes to the application of the protein, that's something that I found to do, like back in 2019, when we were going through it, it took me like 3 or 4 weeks to figure it out. It took me 10, 15 batches to figure it out. But once I figured it out, that was it. We're good. Then we kind of move on for it. But it really comes down to
Is it whey protein? I mean, like I think what we ask is the type of.
It's isolate, yeah. So it's whey protein
plant-based
isolate.
protein, whey protein.
If you were to put it in your drink and shake it on up, that's the protein that's within here. But it's not chalky. It doesn't have that grind, like grimy kind of feel. You're eating popcorn and like it's addicting because we have a cinnamon crunch, birthday cake, caramel explosion, and peanut butter. Just a straight up peanut butter one.
All of those have the protein in it?
Yeah, I can pretty much, now that I've gotten our base recipe as well, I've pretty much been able, now I can do it for any flavor. So that's easy for us. We'll go like right down in the line.
Have you ever tried to like sell to a bigger company and been denied, and like what were their reasons for not buying?
We've actually just told them no. It's not them telling us no. We have a contract on the table with Total Wine and More. Total Wine and More has got 4 locations here in Wisconsin. They've got 256 all around, and they want us to go through a company called Unify. Unify is the distributor. I don't want to deal with it. I really just don't want to, in the whole sense of when you see production, there was an article that was sent to me and they're like, $103 million gross sales. I was like, cool. Then you start reading into the article, this guy quit his job or whatever, it's that whole story, he went and bought a factory. Well, the factory is $250,000. Then he had to go get 17 million to kind of keep stuff going on. Then he's got to go deal with 288 employees. Not gonna lie, I have 4. I like that. I'll stick to that. Because the stress level and everything that we do, I mean, if I don't do it, somebody else is going to when it comes to those larger companies. What do I want to do? I want to make, and it sounds cheesy as AF, but I was a health teacher for a while. I want to make my popcorn that amazing that you're like, I love this stuff. I will like go tooth and nail, like you guys either have Stanley or Yeti, right? And it's like you will fight on that battle for as long as you can. Some people are Yeti, some people are Stanley, right? I want people to be like, no, it's Pops. So we actually went through a program with this whole thing. It was really interesting. Is one of my good friends who I didn't really know. He's a bartender. I own a bar too. He's a bartender by us, but he's like, I'm gonna call him marketing genius. This dude, very low level kind of thing. Jesse brought to me the ability for us to actually start finding out what you call your business parameters. And we have something called a hero. So every business has its hero, okay? We have 4 different types of heroes. So I've got Roy. Roy is like the person that I just described to you. Roy is generally gonna go out and $10 is a splash in the can for Roy to go and buy this popcorn. But the reason why Roy actually does it is because he is a popcorn connoisseur. He goes everywhere and tastes the popcorn. He tries it at Galena. He goes all the way into Chicago. He tries every single brand. But for some reason, this brand is just his. He really loves it. He likes the flavor. He gets into our profile and he finds out who we are. And now I've got Roy for the rest of my life. Because Roy's gonna go out there and he's gonna tell his friends. What's gonna get gifted to his friends at Christmas? Probably a bag of popcorn. Those are the kind of people that we really hold hard to. Then there's a Ray. Ray is not our hero. Ray is the opposite of Roy. Ray goes out and he wants the big bag of popcorn because he's got 10 kids at home and he just wants to feed them something to shut them up for a half hour while they're watching a game or something like that. Nothing wrong with that style, but that's just not our hero. The other hero that we have is the person that went to, in Karina, is it? You had us at an event. When did you first have us at an event?
I saw you guys first at State Fair one time.
State Fair, do you remember what year?
No, I can't remember exactly.
4 or 5 years ago? Or recently?
Probably more recently, maybe like 2.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that is because we also have, I call them Billy and Lily. Billy and Lily are our kids that see us out at these events and they have an amazing experience at State Fair. They have a great day with mom and dad, and then mom and dad just happen to get them Pop's Kettle Corn. And now Pop's Kettle Corn, as that child continues to grow, has this really warm feeling that they go to and now they want for their kids to come. So as they continue to grow all the way through, Billy and Lily is a hero of ours because that person in itself, if they have a phenomenal experience, they're gonna continue to support the brand. So those are the kind of people that we go for. And that's where, when I say go down to Lake Geneva, go up to Door County, go into those little gift shops. What are you doing when you're on gift shop like time? You're on vacation. You're with people that you enjoy. You're going through and you're grabbing a bag and then you're going back to your hotel room or something, opening it up and you're like, you know what? That was a really cool gift. Ooh, this is really good popcorn. And then that whole thing just starts kind of making that little entrance within your brain. And that's the entire part of our marketing is like, we want to nail that. So that was a long explanation for that one, but next question.
Are all your flavors gluten-free?
Not all of them are, most of them are, 95% are. So 95% are gluten-free. Popcorn's a great opportunity for that kind of stuff, but we do have some flavorings. I think one is, and it's not here, but it's we have a taco seasoning. There's gluten in the taco seasoning, so. But good question on it. We always have allergens. Actually, we've been on there. Allergens are always on the back of our bag. We're very conscious of that as well. Obviously, people with different restrictions, check the back of our bag. We make sure that one, cross-contamination and anything like that does not happen in our facility. That we always tell people what may or may not be in there.
Do you know how many calories per serving is in the popcorn?
Oh, and the popcorn, yes, per serving. So we did, I was gonna say, the other ones, don't ask. You don't wanna know the calories and stuff that are in there. This is a snack to be done, and there's a lot of flavors up there. Pumpcorn, I think it was 327 calories per serving, and we had it as a 3-serving bag. So it was a 900 and some calories within the entire bag, but 327 calories is not too bad for 20 grams of protein. So, yes.
So obviously everybody loves like snacks, but what is like your biggest demographic that you, I guess, would sell to? Like on a normal, like actual in-store day-to-day basis?
Yeah, great question, because everybody does love snacks, and I originally started the business, and I would get banks that would ask me that all the time. They're like, what's your demographic? I was like, everybody will love popcorn, but it's really not. The people that are our biggest demographics, generally speaking, because of our price point, is gonna be somebody that has a little bit more money to be able to spend on quality products. Again, your Roy, right? So we go through those guys. The second demographic that I would probably say are females, generally between like 35-ish, late 20s to like 35, I would start them, to about 55. They usually get that for gifts for teachers. You start thinking like mom group style. Usually we're a gift for teachers, gift for bus riders. We're a cheap gift for somebody just to give them something that we really like. So that's a good one. And then the reason why we have Roy and not like Rachel is because the men that are generally older, between your like 40 to like 70, that's like the ability for them to go and give that. So those are like our 3 key demographics. Because those are also, like, what about Billy and Lily? We're not going after Billy and Lily, we're going after Billy and Lily's mom. That's the family kind of thing.
Is that the Rachel you were talking about?
No, I should say mom and dad. So
Mom
like,
and dad.
I think there was one,
So you had Roy, you had
Yes.
the females, 25 to 55, the
Yep.
mom group, and what was the third one?
Billy and Lily.
And
I
Billy
can't
and
think of the
Lily's
other
mom.
one. And then we also have one, and her name is Karen. But
Okay.
Karen is our, I had to come up with it because it's Keyboard Karen is actually the name of her. Keyboard Karen, I would like to put positive spins on this. Keyboard Karen is the person that will go and bash anybody who bashes us. She's awesome. Like, I know it doesn't sound cool, but we always, especially for how much we're out in our community and can easily kind of attest to this, we do a lot for our community, but that puts you in the limelight to get scrutinized. There are certain things where people will come right away. I'm not paying $10 for a thing of popcorn. I'm not doing this person sucks, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I've been called worse. Keyboard Karen jumps online. I don't have to say anything. I just sit there and just let it roll, because those people that are so entrenched with our brand will go and fight for us. And those are the people that, like, they save my soul, essentially, in the whole sense of, like, it really gets hard when you start to get scrutinized for certain things. That person that comes in really helps out.
I know you said like the Wisconsin's main like competitors and main popcorn brands, but what are your main competitors?
We don't have any, and I say that like facetiously. We really don't. Nobody does what we do. We have the ability with these customized bags. So for example, we're not there to take every single market. I know that it's not possible for us on the scale of what we currently have. So we have a 5,600 square foot production facility. Put this in an entire perspective of, I own a bar. We were talking about that. I just hired a new kitchen lead. kitchen lead, his name is Leo. Leo is Latino. I was just telling a little bit about this. So he's a phenomenal man. Him and his wife. His wife is educator, wants to get out of education, wants to start selling Pop's kettle corn. Awesome. We go to a lot of different events where you would see us and stuff. And we need to have people, ambassadors that are out there. And I'm more than happy paying them money to be able to go and do that and to better themselves. Leo, though, wants to take it one step further. And as a chef, and he's a very good chef at that, he's like, hey, you do custom bags. Could I do my own brand? I was like, well, yeah, I don't care. As long as we're making the popcorn for you, you can do whatever you like. He goes, well, I don't know how to do all this kind of stuff. And now we're opening it up to actually white labeling for people. White label means that if you go to a shop, and let's say that shop is a really cute niche spot, and it's, you know, Papa Bear's Gourmet Caramels, and Papa Bear wants his own popcorn bag and mix, we can do that at a very, very low entry level. Because we do the popcorn already, like that bag in itself, oh yeah.
So he's talking private labels.
Private labels, and this is where we kind of come into these. So two of our new clients, so we used to do one, these guys, AWP, this was their Christmas bag. They got this, they've got their branding all on the outside. So this is their Christmas bag. They'd have their sales reps go in and just give people bags of popcorn. Why? Because you're not soliciting and dropping off a gift, right? So all those times that you can't enter, that's where it is. Plus, we call them the gatekeeper. If any of you guys know the gatekeeper, gatekeepers are the admin assistants or the person right at the front desk. If you give them popcorn, you don't think they're gonna call back and have somebody come up and say hi to you all the time, right? So that's one of them. Another one of my buddies, he works for Midwest Heating and Cooling, but he wanted to have something that was a, thanks for letting me pop in your house and quote me your price. So it was like, hey, it's just that nice little gift. That bag itself to him, well, he's choosing puppy chow. I know why, because it's the best flavor ever. But he's choosing puppy chow to go in there. But I could get that bag to him filled with like a Dairyland mix or Muskego mix for like $5.50. Like it's not a lot to go and say thank you, because when that person is opening up the bag and they're seeing that repetitively, it's a good way to brand yourself. And then one of my Bible study guys is Tom Dillett out of like right down the street, Dillett Mechanical. So yeah, oh yeah, he matched the blue, that's why I brought it. So Dillett, he's a good buddy of mine, and he's like, I would love to have that where my HVAC guys go in, instead of just going in and just whatever, it's, hey, thanks for having us in, here's a bag of corn, what can I do for you guys today on any service call? So we're starting to get into that niche. The best part about that is I can get this to them for $5.50. If I have to get this to somebody like Sendix, they're gonna ask for it at about $2.50 to $3. That puts a harder chunk on ours. So when we really try and sell ours, we're finding our niche is the customization of it, and then that person can then go on and make their money, or they can just pay for it kind of straight up. We have one client of ours that actually does, it's crazy, he does a $115,000 order every year. It's like crazy. That's a lot of popcorn. But it's consistency, and people love it, and it gives them face time with their clients. So when they walk in, they're willing to pay $115,000 to have that much popcorn in order to be face to face with their clients as well. So we've actually started going towards, and I was telling Ann a little bit about, like, we've started going towards this because, one, I think it adds value to companies. I would much rather go with a company that drops off a bag of popcorn and is just like, hey, thanks for letting us pop by. I'm spending the extra $5 to make sure that you guys remember our name. Yes, your quote might be a little bit higher, but if you're doing things like this, that means you're doing everything right, generally speaking. You're not gonna get that undercut person that's gonna come in and, you know, you could have somebody else come in. If you put time and effort towards that and you pay for something like that, generally speaking, you're doing things right. So, that's our new trajectory. If you were to go to that top part, again, go up to corporate gifts, press corporate gifts, and then need to gift things pops is where we're kind of all at, and then scroll down a little bit. And then this is like what we also have started going towards is corporate gifts are very easy for us to be able to do. And it's a full customized box straight out. So we did 3,000 of these for Northwestern Mutual. We do like probably about another 10, 15,000 of those throughout October, November, and December. We've got some new clients. What is it? National Nurse Week coming up, I think is coming up in May. So we're doing some for their nurses as well. So we do a lot of that. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, keep going, you'll find custom bags on there. Custom labels we do, which is a cheaper option than the bag, simple for us to do. And then
Yeah,
there's
that's cool. So it's still, it's like co-branding, you've got your brand on there, and they can put their message, but this is where they would put their own name on.
yeah, and then we go for those guys. And then we do the actual custom bags. And we have a great team. We've gotten everything streamlined. I can get, that custom bag can get to me within 8 days upon approval. So we're also working with all US-based industry, and our bagging group is up in Minnesota, and they can crank out a custom bag that we designed to them in less than 5 days, and I see it within 8. So that's also a good one. Some people are like, oh, we won't do it this year because, you know, we got to work on this, Nope, we can do it this year. We can do it within 2 weeks if you really want to. Yeah.
Do you guys use local farmers?
No. Indiana has the best popcorn.
Okay.
So Indiana is like the right climate for all of it, and they just have had it. I've actually changed my popcorn seed one time. And I was like, you know what, we're gonna try this because it was cheaper. Everybody does it, right? And I cannot tell you how many texts, too many people have my texts, my phone number, in the sense of our clients and stuff, right away. Did you guys change something about the popcorn? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It was out for like 2 days. And I already started getting people like, no, this just isn't the right one. So,
So you stick with all Indiana popcorn?
yeah, a specific farm does it, that's
Yeah,
it, that's all we use.
How long ago you guys went online on the website, and how does the online sales compare to the local sales look like?
So we are probably, because the hard part about this is that all of our stuff goes through, including wholesale, goes through online.
Yep.
We would probably say that our local B2C, business to customer, is gonna account for about 40% of our online sales. The other 60% is either a customized commercial order of a B2B or a wholesale order. Yes.
What's your process for bringing a new flavor to market? Like what kind of testing do you do? How do you select the flavor?
So we have this fun thing called the Super Popcorn Bowl. We do it every year. Super Popcorn Bowl is just like, give me your craziest flavors. So if you're online, follow us. We start it always January. We get into it, and you go right there.
I thought I saw one.
Scroll down. There's a little cake. Keep going. Right there.
Oh, here.
So just go down to chili cheese. So chili cheese was our winner. I want to say it was like back in like 2000, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. But we do this where essentially what happens is you submit all the flavors. So we get some crazy flavors. This past year, ooh, I actually think I have one. The one that won is the Everything Bagel, won this year. So what we do is we basically got like 500 and some suggestions for flavors. People are just interesting when they want popcorn flavors. They like give you everything. Somebody was like, can you do a steak one? And I was like, just go eat a steak. If you're gonna pay $10 for something, go pay $10 for a steak. That's my kind of thing. So what we try and do though is out of these 500 and some flavors, we get it down to 16 that are actually conceivable. So how are we gonna make it? Is it gonna be a kettle corn? Is it gonna be a cheddar corn? Is it gonna be a hybrid? What do we have to do to try and get there, right? And then we start going, and it's honestly those 4 people that I talked about, like our 4 employees, we sit around a table and we just start going and grinding into how are we gonna make it? What's it gotta taste like? like what's the first front flavor that you want? Can we even find the ingredients for it? If we can find the ingredients, can we get that at a bulk rate, or is it just down? So that's kind of like our whole conversation. Generally though, the 16, we whittled down to 4, and it took us probably 2 hours to conceive and organize and get all the ingredients in for 4. So about 30 minutes of like an actual brain talk. Again, when I say like we do this, I live and breathe this stuff, and my mind never shuts off. So like for 9 years, we've been doing this, perfecting it. So if you were to give me a flavor, so Leo, for example, our chef, he wants to do red tacos. So one of them is red tacos, and then he wants to do a salsa verde. So like we've started conceiving those already, and we're starting to work on those flavors, but it'll probably take about 30 minutes and about 4 batches. So we tank it in every single time. So it's, oh, this one needs a little bit more cheddar, or this one needs a little bit less of this, or it's not spicy enough. Then we gotta add, what are we gonna do? Cayenne, jalapeno, are you gonna do habanero, or any of the other crazies kind of thing? So it really comes down to like, you tell me what they want. That's the other big part when it comes to selling to those small businesses and having a custom branded bag. You can do whatever flavor you want. That's the fun part. Popcorn is a white canvas. You just have to know how to paint it.
Okay, so I have kids, and the biggest thing when I take them into Pops is they love the popcorn that is like really colorful and pretty, but what are the dyes in those?
So we are discontinuing a lot of the ones for the red, like all of them have dyes. Everything goes down there because we get the product mostly from Gold Medal. Until the FDA or whatever happens with the kind of residual of the new administration and what they're going to impose on certain dyes getting out, we still have to use their product because we're kind of hamstringed by it because it's the main ingredient. So if it has it in it, it's going to have it in it. We found though that the unicorn mix is what you're talking about. The unicorn mix is on like a big decline by us, but that's completely fine because we have a ton of other flavors. So I found that kind of thing, and it's, I got yelled at, oh man, the amount of yelling that people do towards you, like some guy would call us every single day and then just yell for like 5 minutes and then hang up. And it was almost like a running joke of it where it was like, look, we got it, we understand. Don't buy the product. If you don't want it, don't buy it. We're trying to make our stuff go into like beet juice. Is it red beets? Right?
Red
I think,
beet,
yeah, red beets, to be able to use that dye color, that's where a lot of people are going to. So if you want it colorful, that's one thing, but a lot of our products, we just stopped doing all coloring on it to try and stay away from all that.
I
Yeah.
noticed here, I just want to point this out, because I think, Kayla, was it you? Kayla, I'm not sure which one asked this. This is interesting, pay over time for orders over 35. Can you tell us more about that? Is that a service you offer for credit?
That shop pay, if you go to that little shop pay, that right there, that's like, they call it a firm. So if you're ever looking at something, there's one. Go to, this is awesome. I use it actually myself. Go to the website, vestaboard.com.
Vestaboard?
Yeah. And I'll give you an example of why
Like
people use it.
Vestaboard?
Board. Alright, this is the coolest freaking thing ever. I had to buy one because I really wanted it. And because it just brings me back to, what's it called? Train stations. I know it sounds funny. I lived in Europe for a while, so I love train stations. Whenever I go, like, it's like very calming to me, I guess. Anyway, this guy was actually in Paris de Gaulle, and he was at a train station. It was like 10 years ago, and he's like, I want to make one of those for the house, right? And I have one of these at our bar now, but the thing costs like $3,500. So if you were to go through and you were to go to shop now, this is why you do the Affirm up top right. Oh yeah, you can go there. But if you were to go to something like this, well, you had to waitlist it, but then it goes into Affirm. I didn't have to pay $3,200, just so we're on the same page. I'm not that loaded. But this is one where it's like, this is where you would probably do the Affirm, in the sense of shop now, pay later, and they have a loan for you.
What?
I know, it's a long extension of that answer, but if you go back to our chili cheese,
Yeah.
if for some reason you just don't have $35, they'll just give you a loan for $35 and you can pay it off over a couple of days, or weeks, or months.
So they can order from you, but you're not the one giving them the credit, this shop pay is?
Yes.
Wow.
You don't do online shopping a lot, do you?
Well, I guess I never looked into
It's
shopping.
really funny because a lot of shops
I do a
go
lot
for
of
that.
online shopping.
Do you? I was gonna say,
But
because
on Amazon usually.
that's not online shopping, that's
Oh.
Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon does the same thing though, where they're like, subscribe and save, and they get you
That's
in
true.
other ways. This is for more of your direct to consumer online. If you have a Shopify website, that's what we use is Shopify. Shopify website offers all of these things.
Did you guys know this?
No.
Oh, they're shaking their heads, what?
It's
Really?
like layaway back in the day, and
Yes,
yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so this is like the new age version of layaway.
Layaway,
Yeah, except you get the product right away.
wow.
So you don't have to just like keep, do you guys know what layaway is? That's like a bridge into the gap kind of thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You pay in installments and then you pick it up when you pick up the item, like Kmart used to have that, right? You pay in installments until you paid it off and then you could pick up your item. It's like they store it in the back room for you until you paid it off.
way before credit cards and stuff too.
A long.
Yeah,
The Chope even offers you like pay bi-weekly, not monthly.
yeah,
Like
you
that,
can do bi-weekly, monthly, you can do a lot of different ones.
I knew that.
Well, it's certain, now how does that reflect, this is offered to anyone,
If you were
Like
to
the
add to
B2C,
cart, yeah, if you were to add to cart and go
Yeah.
through the whole process, then at the end of it, you could say, oh, I want the shop pay option.
so your clients, like the bigger clients, could they use shopping?
No, I give them discounts on generally, so I always structure it where if I know I've got a client, let's say the 115,000, instead of me going to a bank and going getting like a 9% loan at this point is where it's at, I'll actually reach out to them and I'll be like, I'll give you a 5% discount if you pay early. So if you give me the money early, it will help me because that will allow us not to need to go get a loan.
Like
And
5% in 1 week if I get my money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually, that client did at the beginning of this year, instead of me going and getting a consolidation loan, they said, we'll just pay you the 120 now. And I was like, cool,
Yeah, okay.
that's awesome, I'll definitely take that. Yes,
Do you do discounts for like, businesses that buy in bulk or?
so then go up to the wholesale customers, up on there, and then you can create your own wholesale account. And then they get an automatic discount. It also looks a little different. So when you sign into your wholesale account, it'll offer bags as in like packs of 6. So when you do go and sell this, everything is automated and online for us, and everything is also net 30. Unless you screwed us in the past, now it's net 7 or it's pay on, kind of those things. But our website, we put a lot of time and effort trying to make sure that it's very simple for people to go on, navigate it, order, and then for us to deliver. So that's the easiest way to go for that. Yes?
How long does it take for you to sell your product to like B2B wise?
The whole process of from the start of the meeting to actually selling it, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
So the start of the meeting, I will go in with the understanding that I'm gonna get you to sign up for that account right there before I leave. Cause if you're not gonna do it while I'm there, you're not gonna do it. Let's just be real. That's kind of where we're at. That's like my sales pitch is like, if you're not gonna do it, like I've got other stuff to do and I've got other clients that we've gotta go for, not in a bad way, but it's like, where do you put your time and effort trying to recruit that one? Or, and this is my marketing ploy too, I don't pay for marketing. I think it's an absolute complete waste of money. I don't think that there is nothing that you can't learn. There is no ROI. If you ever go to a marketing agency and they say, hey, give us 15 grand, but we're gonna try and get you there, or whatever it is, even $1,000, $500, forget it, no.
You're saying you do your own marketing, because you do.
We do our own marketing, but I will never pay somebody to do our own stuff. I would
Because
much.
You're a natural marketer, that's why.
Yeah, because people always ask, they're like,
You
what's your
still are doing
budget?
marketing. Yeah, you,
Well, we do marketing, but I won't pay for an external marketer. is
yeah,
what the
because
best way.
you already have You
Correct.
have your website, you have your social media that you're doing and all the posts and the contests and the.
And that's the big
That's all
part is
right.
like that takes a lot of time and effort and brain space, but that's also something that lazy businesses go and get out marketing firms, in my opinion. You can easily learn this stuff, and with the amount of education that there is on YouTube, even Facebook, X, go wherever you want. People are trying to teach you how to do it. You just have to be receptive of it.
There's such a tiny percentage of people that are willing to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
There is.
That's
There's a
why,
massive.
that's why we have marketing students who need to have jobs.
So
that
there's
are
this
going to do
really
that.
awesome marketing company that I think if you really want to see kind of how it goes through, this company, in my opinion, gained my respect immediately. It's called Shop Nova. Shop Nova, if you go to it, it's by these two marketing guys. They were sick of the non-ROI. Like, they didn't want to do something without actually getting paid for it. If that makes sense. Shop Nova, yeah. No, not that one.
Not that one?
Yeah,
Chopanova?
Shopanova. I was wrong. Scale your store. These two guys are absolutely fantastic. They're super real. I talked with both of them, and they talked with me for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I really appreciate the time. And at the end of 30 to 45 minutes, they gave me a list of things to go do and said, "You're not our client. We don't need, you don't need us. You've got your ducks in a row. We're looking for the other people who are the not lazy people, but the ones who are just uneducated. Their goal is to educate you to not need them." That to me has integrity when it comes down to a marketing firm. If you're, because
That's marketing, Mark.
correct, and that's what I
They
mean.
want you, yeah, and they're trying to.
But they
take
did. They
I like
actually
your
told me
approach.
that they were like, "No, we're not going to do yours because we're just going to be taking your money, but you can do it all by yourself because you're that type
Because
of
you-
person."
Yeah,
But I gained respect for them simply because they weren't willing to just be like, "Oh, we'll start that all for you. We'll do this and that, all those kind of things." So they do a really good job, but I think that they've got.
because they're kind of educators. They don't.
Yeah, they've got more integrity, I think, when it comes down to it, because it's really difficult. What's the biggest thing that, when you go into a marketing, if you go to a business and they ask you for an ROI, and you can't give them an ROI, that's a red flag. Correct? Would you say, Ann?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. And it's not that you're gonna guarantee them everything, but you're gonna at least guarantee X, Y, and Z getting done. And if that's done correctly, you should increase your sales. If it doesn't increase your sales, maybe it wasn't X, Y, and Z, it was X, Y, and V.
Sorry, I missed it. What was an ROI?
ROI is a return on investment.
Okay.
Yeah. So like my return on investments, what I do is I will, like for our church, I go to Bridge Church over here. We got a bag that they always give a gift for coming in. And I was like, why are they not gifting our popcorn? So like my marketing, I guess you could call it, is like, I just supply them popcorn. I don't charge them. It's just my way of getting people that way. Could other churches pick it up? Awesome, that'd be great. But like, that's my marketing, is by actually doing it. So like all of these bags, I think these were one of the first ones that we ever did. And without them doing it and paying for it, I don't know that I'd pulled the trigger. Now that we have, and we've got a system, now it's easy for me to sell because we have it all in place.
And one last question?
Yeah,
What's the most important problem or need of a B2B customer?
Oh, good question. Could you repeat that? What's the biggest problem a B2B customer has
Or need, yeah.
or need.
or need?
They need you to be the solution to a problem they didn't know they had. So if you go to a B2B customer and you see them that either don't have popcorn, or let's say they do have popcorn, and you come to them with a solution, you say, look, I got these guys, they're down in Muskego. I see that you guys are this really cute niche brand. They can do a custom bag for you, still get it to you for a price that you could make 50% on in your store. Everything is customized. All you've got to do is send off an email. I'll get you on wholesale, and then you're going to start with their graphic designer. They will take it from there and they will finish it all, and you'll get something within 2 weeks, your product within 2 weeks. That to me is like, Okay. So when you go in and you're talking to people, it's bring a solution. Do not bring, you should have asked, when it comes down to like these kind of groups, sit around a table, act as if one person is the business person, and then just try and sell to them and work that through so that when you go in, it's a non-conversation. You're just informing them of how awesome this is gonna be and how easy it is to get it done. And then
So
you
this is what you came up with when you're talking that, let me just show you. So you tell me if you, this is part of their role play, they have a scenario.
Mhm.
This is what, let me just find it here.
If you guys wanna watch any, I just saw it was on there for nonverbal communication. There is the, I just started getting into it, but it's like the life of a CEO or stories of a CEO. It's this British guy, and he interviews a lot of people when it comes down to business. Really interesting content. And just, it's kind of like a masterclass in my mind of just streamlining it. Some of them are like half hour, some are like an hour, but it's a really good opportunity. Like I said, you guys can get educated anywhere. Start finding those opportunities to do that.
I can't find where I have that right now, but it's in the course actually. So, well, you guys can tell them, what were some of the things that we talked about were what they would be concerned with, just tell them what we came up with.
Packaging and making sure that it looks appealable, but is also, like you said, like keeping the product quality.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, and they don't have to, and the other part of that, go tell them about the other part, the gusseted bottom allows for what?
The what bottom?
The
Gusset.
gusseted bottom, the bottom that has a, like a wide stance so that it
So
stands
it's
up by
like-
itself.
Can stand.
I'm sorry, I'm not catching what you're.
So the big part about a gusseted one is you can put it on shelves, but also you can have a hole on it so you can hang it. So if it's multifaceted and you can actually put it up, some of those things, they call them POS, which is like your point of sale space. If you're working on like packaging, you'll see at Costco, if you ever go through Costco, and then basically they're just pallets there and they rip off the top of the boxes and all the product is in it. That's something that some people will want. As compared to, we'll send them 24 bags, they have to open our box and then they have to place the box. Like they have to place all of the stuff, so it's a little extra work on their end as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of maintenance, like it doesn't fall down, like when you have bags on the shelf, you know, like other bags of popcorn, they're all, you know, they lay down, they're all like this. So someone in the store that has to maintain the shelves, it's really easy, and it looks pretty, look how easy, cause they stand up by themselves because of that bottom, that shape. So to me, that's a lot less, you can have your employees doing other things, they don't have to be managing the popcorn. So to me, that's a huge benefit to a retailer.
And the clear popcorn too, what happens generally speaking, people drop stuff. Clear popcorn gets less kernels on the bottom. Now you've got people that are rummaging through certain things and trying to find the one that doesn't have the most on the bottom. Like imagine if potato chips had a clear bottom, you probably would never buy them because you're like, well, half these chips are not even full. So, and that's also why we pack it tight and not leave anything, because the looser it is, the more sloshing around that'll happen, the more breakage that'll happen. Popcorn's already, we tell all the kids, treat it like a baby, man. You can't just throw this stuff. It's fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I can't find it, but what else though do we come up with, Thor, go ahead.
What kind of oils do you use?
We use mostly just like a butter it, non-dairy oil. So it's soybean oil is the biggest one with flavoring. For the
Soybean oil?
protein one, we use avocado oil.
Sorry. As a smaller company compared to Quick Trip or Sendix, how do you set up those bigger meetings and how do you handle them with 4 employees?
I do them.
You do?
Yep, so like Quick Trip, when we go for it, we sent up a package. You basically send them a package with the details, and then you just say like, just reply back and let us know when we can have a meeting. So generally speaking, those usually hit pretty well. Like, I still remember sending it to Quick Trip, and I was really nervous on the whole sense, because Jackie's just like, oh, send us a box. And I tracked the whole thing all the way up to La Crosse. Got to La Crosse and I woke up to an email. She had already emailed me at like 4 o'clock and was like, when can we meet? We love your product, we love how filled it is, we like the packaging, everything just speaks volumes for that. And that's why all that pre-work really means a lot to get that all done. So that when you're going there, it's just like, yep, we're good. Quick Trips are sweethearts too, they are very good. Cause they do distribution on their own. They have a truck that goes to a Quick Trip store every single day. We happen to have one across the street from us. So what they do is then they'll tailor that to go into the last stop will be the one across the street from us. Then they'll come and pick up our product and take it back for free. So they're a very good company, and they're a net zero company. So the moment that that truck gets into La Crosse, we get paid.
I don't know, I cannot find it for some reason. So, what were, any of the other things though, quick, that we talked about? So, they have to have a unique story, great packaging that's attractive, easy to maintain. They have to have a high quality, whatever that is, premium. It could be ingredients, it could be the taste, something premium. Alexis?
Trend.
On trend with Popcorn Trends, has to be something. Why would I include you if you're not, like you said, protein, I love that you mentioned that. People want protein in their diets, that's a
We're
huge
also working
trend.
on a Delta 9, so it'll be pot corn.
Really? That's, well, you can talk future, what's it, you're calling it popcorn?
Why not?
Why not?
Works.
Yeah.
Delta 9 though is
That's
something
working
that we can do here in Wisconsin, so it's
What
not.
is it called, Delta?
Delta 9 is a
Delta.
THC derivative of a very specific like flower. There's so many rules, and although it is not legal to have essentially marijuana or like your old school weed, I guess you can call it. Although that's not legal here in Wisconsin, Delta 9 is. And Delta 9 is basically just a refined version. So now we're gonna work with oils and we'll be putting it in our popcorn. So like we'll probably have, I'd say by the end of April are we in? On behalf of 420, we'll probably announce it where it comes into Delta 9. So we'll have like the announcement that we'll start working with Delta 9, and like that bag will probably be like a 20 milligram bag, the medium sized ones.
Wow. Give me some popcorn.
Yeah.
No, the idea, I love the trend, so trends, and what else was the other thing, on trend
It's marketing
and?
right there.
Yeah,
Popcorn.
and there are other popcorns out there right now, like go up to Michigan and stuff, you can see these things, but like at the end of the day, again, it comes down to the quality of, in my opinion, like, there's difference in eating just like something to eat it as compared to something because you enjoy it.
There's some, right.
You know, like that's kind of the big part of it. And we want to make sure that it's an enjoyable flavor. That's why I say don't ask the calories. Like how many people go to a restaurant and is like, I'll have the steak and lobster. And how many calories is in that? They're like, no, you don't want to.
That butter.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else pressing? One more.
If you don't mind me asking, do you do like any like national or like retail advertisements, or do you do like a mail-in letter? Because I know some places will do like email, like notifications or stuff like that, and I was just wondering if there's something.
We use a system called Klaviyo. Klaviyo is a robust and it's a very good, if you guys are going to go into your marketing opportunities, Klaviyo is the one thing that I got from Shopanova that they were like, you just need to get into it. The way that Klaviyo works though is it ties directly into your Shopify website, but it will help you find and actually register Ray, Roy, Billy, Lily, all of those people. If you have some people that are coming back, like if I've got somebody coming back every 3 weeks, and all of a sudden and we just launched it actually because this system helped us find it, is somebody kept coming back every 3 weeks, and not somebody. There's like 100 people that order popcorn every 3 weeks. So we just started a subscription box. So now who do you think is gonna be the first to get that subscription box? Is that Klaviyo has now addressed it, and we're gonna send it to those first 100 people at a discounted rate to see if it's something of an uptick. So there are a lot of CRMs out there. CRMs are customer retainment management, whatever, customer relationship management. We don't use a lot of those. We utilize it within the Klaviyo, but it's essentially a CRM.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So they could, instead of just having to do it themselves, they get like every 3 weeks a shipment of
Yeah.
popcorn.
Now that's where Amazon's got you in, cause I know you got a couple subscribe and saves, don't you?
I'm not,
Alright.
you must know me well, but yes.
But that's the reason why, and the trend setting as well for a small business like me, if Amazon does it, do you know how many millions of dollars that they probably spent to figure out that it works? So you start looking at all these big companies, one reason why when we did Starbucks, like Starbucks comes out with pumpkin spice latte, we have pumpkin spice kettle corn, and that's in our fall flavors. We launch it at the same day that Starbucks launches their stuff, because they know. Like, they've
It's
already
true.
put the millions of dollars into it, just go on theirs, and then as a small business, operate through that and just know, have a plan to target market the same way they do. It's free education.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go for that.
All right, can we thank Mark?
Thank you guys for your research. You guys are looking for jobs, Muskego, we're looking for servers and bartenders, all that fun stuff, I would say, so.
Yeah.
You guys are in Muskego.
How do you
looking
want
for
us to
someone
handle your?
That's
wanna
on
just
you.
Randomly go?
You have to pick your favorite students.
Yeah, we'll figure that out, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you, oh my gosh, yeah, always good to see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
All
Have
right.
a great day. Email with any questions, mark@popswisco.com. It's the
Oh.
easiest one,
Popswisco.com. I don't think I have that one, I probably connected with you on every other one.
probably.
Yeah.
This is the new one, it's all of our brand stuff, so.
I gotta write that down, what is it, Mark at
Mark.
popswisco.com?
mark@popswisco.com.
Okay. Got it.
Sweet.
See ya, thanks.
Have a
Safe
beautiful
travels
week.
home. See ya.
Thank you.
Is it still recording?
Yep.